Yo, what is good, y'all? Welcome to this week's episode of Talks with Taboo. Welcome to this week's podcast. And my guests this week are some of my two best friends, man. I feel very fortunate to be able to work in a music industry where people like this are technically co-workers. So one of them is a photographer. You might have seen some of his pictures on my Instagrams or any of my socials. He's usually the guy who's behind me if I'm in the South. And the other guy just so happens to be the director of public events and a talent buyer at the dopest music venue in New Orleans called Republic. You may have heard of it. If not, and you come to New Orleans, I definitely recommend going to a show at that venue. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Croswell and Chris Foles.
Come here, girl, get that ass back. Let me take my tongue and go back to dirt track. I met a girl and her booty tastes like strawberries. I swear to God, this could be the one that I'm marrying. Hey, hey, and she's so different. I need that from behind. I met a girl and her booty tastes like strawberries.
But welcome, y'all, dude. Thank y'all for fucking doing this with me, dude. I know this is a long time coming.
Yeah, about fucking time, dude. I've been texting you every week since you started this bullshit.
Yeah, I wrote it
saying,
in my diary.
Yo, I'll talk shit on your podcast. And you were like, no, let me get some other DJs.
You literally never texted me saying this.
I'm pretty... Okay, we'll bring up the receipts later. I have the receipts. I don't delete text messages, so...
You don't delete your text messages?
No, dude, I have so many fucking text messages. Dumb. But you never know when you're going to have to reference something from like back in the day.
Or there might be something in there that's going to get you in trouble.
Well, no, I don't. No one's texted me about anything that's going to get me in trouble. It's fucking DJs asking if they could add more people to their guest list and that's why I keep it for whenever I book someone and I'm like, I'll pay you X amount of money. And then at the end of the night, they're like, oh, I thought it was this amount. And I'm like, nah, bitch, we got to take that. I don't take phone calls for the same reason.
Hell yeah.
Why the fuck you take a phone call? Because then people will be like, on the phone, we agree to this. No, we need a paper trail.
Right.
That's why you don't delete text messages. It'll save your ass one day. I'm telling you.
Well, you're not worried about like just having too much memory on that cloud?
No, dude. 2 terabytes a month.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
That's
no.
a lot.
You know what? I'll pay for the convenience. I'll pay my $9.99 to Apple trademark copyright. I don't know if you get in trouble for saying brand names on the podcast.
I don't think so, dude. I've talked a lot of shit about actual brand names. I said, you know, these rioters should go burn down Burger King. I did say that.
And I agree.
Fuck Burger King.
Seriously, I can't think of the last time that I had Burger King. So I don't think we'd lose anything by Burger King being burnt down. I
really like the cinnamonies.
Burger King is a small price to pay for the cause. And I'm comfortable. Come at me, Burger King. I don't care.
It's a small price to pay. Well, this is a cool little... Cool. I'm glad we did it with the three of us, dude, because, I mean, Chris, you're like the guy that gave me and Brad, you know, like our wings out here in New Orleans, dude, our first shots, our first opportunities, you know what I'm saying?
Well, much like your careers, you needed me in this podcast to carry it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So it makes sense, and you're welcome.
How many of those people are there that you've just started those careers, man?
I don't like to say that I started anyone's career. I like to think that I'm in a good shut the fuck up. I like to think that I'm in a good position to help people have a platform to share their art. Yeah. And that's the way I've always viewed it. I've never that would seem very like holding it over someone's head to say like, if you want to be successful in New Orleans, you have to come through me. And that's not how I see it at all. I think everyone has a shot, and I'm willing to give everyone a shot until they prove me or give me a reason that they don't deserve a shot anymore or ruin it for themselves. I let people step on their own toes. I don't like to get involved in anything that would suggest that we would intentionally fuck over someone's career. But we like to give everyone the opportunities possible to start a career. And like, no, I didn't fucking start shit for you two. You two came up around the venue and you did fucking good things, which is why you are where you are today. I was just a very, very, I don't even know the word. I was the middleman and all.
Yeah, you got to give yourself credit, because like a lot of people would not respond to like requests like that. Like I remember just hitting you up and like asking like how to go about shooting shows, and
well, it's because
it's not straightforward with me. And
for a long time, when I first started, I was very much just like an egotistical dick, like most people in the music industry are. Like it's fucking ego driven nonstop, and I ruined quite a few relationships through being an egotistical douchebag. And it took me a little while to realize, like, it's not about me. It's about sharing art and giving people an experience. And like, if I want to continue to give people unique experiences, you have to find new art.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, why not give people the opportunity? You know, if someone feels like it's their passion to create music or take pictures of someone, like, you got to give them that shot, because otherwise, how are you going to know what you're missing out on? And look, Brad's ended up being a very meh photographer, but like he has a few good shots. And then like, look at you, like you did a remix for someone and blew up. Like it's crazy.
Did I?
Yeah, I'm sure that's
Once
how
or
it happened.
twice.
That's
Once
what
or
happens
twice.
to electronic music.
I don't think I remixed for anybody.
Someone
Did.
like Bass Nectar probably shared it on SoundCloud, and like, look at
Bass
you now.
Nectar?
Look at you, Bass Nectar.
Well, I guess I should have asked this in the
careful.
beginning of the podcast to clear it up. But for people who don't know y'all, like tell them exactly what it is y'all's job is.
Brad, you go first. I've been talking too much.
Well, I mean, I'm a supporter of all the homies first and foremost. I like to do whatever I can do to boost y'all's careers in any way, shape, or form, whether it be through, getting a shot of y'all's unreleased songs that's coming out that y'all need for promo, or just pictures for, like Facebook, Instagram, all that shit. I like to help people out, but I take pictures and I make visuals for SFam.
Yeah,
Is it
dude.
fuck
Fuck
SFam?
'em. Yeah, fuck SFam.
Fuck SFam.
Fuck
But,
SFam.
We love SFam.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No,
we
we
don't.
don't.
You mean you?
You.
Yeah, don't add us in with you.
We're
dude.
not
You.
part of your fucking
All right,
thing, dude.
all right, I'll let them come at you.
Let them come at me.
Come on me, dude.
I have a midget and a toothpick chasing me
gonna have
now.
to
I'm
do
not
that.
really that
And that
worried.
toothpick's
You're gonna have
very
to do it,
aggressive.
Jacob, and that's
All it
never
takes
fun.
is a small breeze, and they'll both fly away.
I don't know, Jacob's pretty stocky.
It's pretty, yeah, but he's like 2 foot nothing, dude.
Yeah, true.
Like,
God.
I'll literally hold Pearson like a hockey stick and hit Jacob out of the way.
That's a flex.
Like,
That's a flex.
What else is it that you do, dog?
I don't know. I take pictures, like I say. I do stuff outside of shows with the camera. I shoot weddings and whatnot, and take pictures like food photography and all that kind of stuff. But really, my passion is taking pictures of like moments that people go to shows, and I want to take pictures that resemble those moments that they can remember from like the like the best song of the show or the best set. Like I like to try to capture that through my feelings towards the music, like just capture that.
Yeah.
Like I know your personality, so I know like what you would want to post on Instagram. So
Yeah,
I try
like,
to
you gotta get
capture
my
those.
ass in it.
I try to capture those like goofy ass moments and like serious, like just things that mean like the most to y'all. If that makes
you
any
really
sense.
aren't going to go into your amateur porn cinematography.
Oof. I haven't dropped
Wow.
any of that yet. It hasn't come out yet. You just spoiled it.
Dude, would you shoot a porn for people?
100%. Yeah. What? Yeah.
I would too.
I don't know.
If you're watching this
Yeah, I would.
and you have any connections to the adult film industry, Brad Croswell, Instagram at iCroswell, would like your correspondence.
And I do not discriminate.
He
so.
doesn't discriminate.
Dude, well, I see all these pictures all the time of like these like super attractive females, like with these very professional pictures, but they're all like, just ass pictures taken by nice people. Like, have you done any of those pictures?
No, but it's something me and
He looks down. He's like, no.
it's something that me and Christina have
very-
actually talked about.
Being
'cause,
very careful.
She needs to get into the bourgeois photography.
Yeah, dude,
That
you
would
can
be
do some
fun.
really good ones for your old lady, man.
Yeah, no, we have.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean that's always fun, but it's practice. And she's
Practice.
a pretty suspect
Yeah.
subject.
Suspect subject.
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 You fucked that one up, Chris.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
okay.
No, I was just repeating what Brad
I
said.
be
So-
stuttering.
He said it so eloquently that I could not parrot it.
Parrot.
What exactly is it that you do, Chris? What is your job description?
I am the director of public events for Republic NOLA, which means if it needs to be done, I kind of have to do it. Which,
man.
like, my job has had me make memes for Twitter. My job has had me buried in a ceiling over here running wiring through the building for 12 hours. Like, it really, it's everything that I do is for the show to happen. So, like, if it's something that has to be done for a show to happen, whether it be reaching out to an agent, executing, marking up a contract, picking up an artist from the airport, going hospitality shopping, scrubbing a toilet. Like, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm ultimately responsible for every aspect of making the venue open for public events, for concerts. And so if it needs to be done and there's no one else to do it, I kind of have to do it. And so I've done literally everything here. Like, I've scrubbed toilets.
I think everything's an
My favorite
understatement,
part.
honestly. I've seen you do more than everything here. I think we all have.
Dude, I think you're like the heart and soul of this venue,
Yeah,
dude.
is heart and soul of a lot of things for sure.
Like, if there's ever a day when you're not here, dude, it's gonna be a sad day.
See,
Be a
like,
very sad
heart
day.
and soul just sounds so like pretty and like happy, and I'm more of like
The throbbingness.
the dick and balls.
The
of this
pulse.
There
place.
we go, dude.
The vein.
Yeah, there's just the thick, veiny heart.
No, but
Thick veiny heart.
from
Just
my perspective,
throbbing.
from my perspective of what you're really good at is you're
Preparing a load.
yeah, always preparing a load, but looking
just
at other
unload on
venues. I've
everyone.
gone to shows in other venues in other states, other cities, and like, it all feels very, very corporate. It feels very, let me do it this way, let me do it that way. But here, it's a very special venue, and that comes from having special people that run it and do like really extra things. Like on Mardi Gras, every Mardi Gras, y'all go off on the stage. The stage always looks really good. Right now, y'all have the temple. That thing looks crazy.
Right, like,
Everybody
what-
wants to play on that. Like y'all go above and beyond, and it's a lot of people I know from other states that I've met at festivals. We get to talking to them. They've been to shows here. They've been to some of the same shows that I've been here. They've seen your sets here. It's always wild, like having these conversations with people, and like going to a con. I'm sitting there, I'm in my tent, and then I wake up to some dude next to us playing Wookworm, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like everything is just always full circle.
Yeah.
And I always feel like it kind of somewhat comes back here.
It's the same way. Yeah, I went to a festival up in Seattle last year for the 4th of July, and I was hanging out by the front gate, and someone said, "Hey, fuck Chris from Republic, he's a douchebag." And it's like I felt like I was at home.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you go in the music industry. Like, I'm still a douchebag, and everyone hates me. And that's the magic. That's the magic of music. And
It's-
how it
it's
just brings
beautiful.
us all together. It doesn't matter where you experience music, but what is important is that you remember that I'm just awful.
Dude, oh man, but you have the best hats, man. That is such a
That's
dope
my only.
hat.
That's my only personality trait.
Dude,
Is
I've
cool
been
hats.
collecting hats, and I want that fucking hat, man.
Dude, just holler at me. I got hat plugs, dog. But yeah, no, I get where Brad's coming from, and the thing is like being one of the few small independently owned venues still surviving in really the country today, because there's not a lot of us left. It gives us a lot of creative control to be able to focus our energy on customer experience, which is the most important part of anything we produce. It's not about being the coolest venue. It's not about, making sure that we have like the most badass light stage setup or anything like that. It's about the customer walking through the door and like really entering almost an alternate reality where they can escape the bullshit of life for the few hours that they're here. And that's what keeps
this
me
place
going.
was for me originally.
That's what keeps me going is like, I mean, I didn't have like very bright and happy upbringing or like young adulthood. And so whenever I first started coming here as a fan in 2012, which holy shit was 8 years ago already.
Old ass.
This was like, it was an escape. And like whenever I got the ability to be involved in it, like it really was a huge motivating factor to take it to the next level so that we could continue to help people get that escape and release that they need through like, the most universal language of mankind, which is music. And so that's why I do it. Like it's not a good paycheck. I fucking hate talking to people, especially the local DJs.
Is that your least favorite, honestly?
No.
Okay.
I'm
Probably like
obviously
agents.
No, my least favorite person to talk to is not the DJs or the local DJs. It's the person that knows them. It's the person that knows the DJ and knows the local DJ. Like, oh, we used to kick it before we got 100,000 listens on SoundCloud. Like, we used to totally vibe, dude. It's like, yeah, I bet you can't come backstage.
Totally
Like,
vibe.
well, it's true. I mean, you know how many people like stop you or like try and come backstage because they fucking shook someone's hand at one point or another back in the day, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
like, You get it. No,
Yeah.
you don't. But sure,
Nah, I get it, brother.
don't be that fucking guy.
Nah, dude, but you
Trying
talked
to
about
get
this
10
temple
plus
stage. That temple stage is fucking badass. So did y'all build that stage before y'all knew you were about to open up, or did y'all just build it just for the streams?
Fuck no. So the team that was here with helping us with all the live streams, they started building the temple stage, and they started it like right around the time, probably a week before the phase 2 announcement, where the mayor said, we have a minimum of 2 weeks before we get back to normal. And so whenever they were like, we have a minimum of 2 weeks, we're like, okay, well, we have time to build the stage, do a few live streams on it, and it'll all be Gucci. And then last Monday, the mayor just went rogue and was like, we're opening up on Saturday. And so and I'm across the country, like with my grandma. And so when that all happened, I'm across the country. Essence Festival, well, actually, I can't say that, non-disclosure. You didn't hear anything. We had like a filming that needed to take place in the venue that week as well. So we had the team that's here that actually did a tremendous job of the stage had to then break down everything of the temple they had built already so that a film crew could load in on Wednesday, film on Thursday, load out on Friday, so then they could load the temple back in and rebuild it for us to like go live that weekend. But yeah, no, the temple was supposed to be just a live streaming thing that ended up like turning into part of our shows throughout the month of June. And I think that it's really fucking cool.
Dude, it's so sick, man. I've seen it. I saw videos of y'all with the venue Saturday with the like in full motion, everybody in here, and like everyone was spaced out. Looked like everyone was having a great time. The stage looked fucking awesome. That's probably my favorite stage I've seen.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
real.
it's next level.
It's up there.
And the beautiful thing is that the production company that helped us build it, like they don't have a use for it since it's built custom for our stage. So
Yeah.
we'll be able to keep it.
Yeah.
And like throughout the year, maybe quarterly or something like that, we'll throw an event in the base temple.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and we'll bring it back down, build it, and it'll be a super cool thing to like have people look forward to.
Can I make a suggestion?
Make it a suggestion, bro.
Personally, I would.
That's a professional stage builder.
Hey,
and
no.
that knows how to produce concerts.
I'm adding to the beauty of the stage.
It wasn't beautiful enough.
And of the trees set on that stage, I guarantee you the people would love that.
But it's a temple. There's literally not a single tree.
Yeah, but it would.
There's not a single tree.
Okay,
dude.
all right. We'll see what people say about that. But I'm speaking for the
that
people.
would be like having a stage built of toothbrushes and saying we should book Flostradamus. There's no floss.
Well, I bet you of the trees would love to play on that stage.
Oh, I know he'd love to play on
Everyone
stage
wants
because
to
he'd
play
have
on
to
that.
talk to me.
Okay,
And like, that makes sense. We should make a nursery theme stage that has like a bunch of big block letters that say A, B, C, D, and we'll just book DMVU because that makes sense.
on the spot though. Seriously, for a second, if you had ultimate power to build a stage in here, what would it be? Like what? Like curate an event.
Question.
Curate an event in 30 seconds.
Right,
Honestly,
a little closer to the mic when you
Word.
said just
One of my favorite like aesthetics of all time is like the Tron look, Tron Legacy and stuff like that.
Yes.
So doing like a light tracing like Tron build on the stage where the stage is essentially like
would be dope.
an infinity cube with a bunch of like lights like going around it and like having someone I think the best act for it because I'm not gonna book Daft Punk. I think it would be like Black Tiger Sex Machine.
Oh,
I think having
yes.
fuck yeah!
I was
Black
so
Tiger
mad.
Sex
They
Machine.
came here with the
Kai.
pit. Yeah,
That
they came here.
was
and
one
I
of my favorite shows I've seen up here too.
That
had
was
a-
Kaiwachi, Sullivan King, and there was one other on there. It was a fucking absolutely absurd lineup.
I think it was Latrique, maybe. But
Yeah,
Electric.
Electric. Sorry, I apologize.
I didn't know
All
you were
good.
French.
Yeah,
Electric.
Latrique.
Electric. The first half of this year has felt like 6 years. So
Dude, it's been horrible. Speaking of this fucking horrible shit, what has it been like for a music venue and running it? Like, what is a day-to-day operation? Because I hit you up today to do this to the podcast, and you're like, I'm at Republic all day. Like, what the fuck are you even doing right now? I'm curious what's going on. Like, what all does your job entail at the moment?
at the moment, it's programming. We obviously aren't booking any huge national acts right now because agents kind of won't let them do anything. And we can't really be open as a live entertainment venue. We have to keep our status as a bar, but there's also music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's being creative and trying to figure out what we could program over the next few weeks to get people out here. We're at 25% capacity, so once we reach a certain amount, which isn't that much, we do one in the door, one out the door. But it's just planning and trying to get people something, even though they can't have the full product that we normally deliver or want to deliver. It's giving them something at least to look forward to. And so I've just been in the office, reaching out to DJs, seeing if they're interested in ideas that we have. in planning events, doing graphic design and getting them upline and going so people know what's going on, as well as like, reaching out to customers, sharing what our like new protocols and policies are that we are open now to make sure everyone is just safe and has a good time. Like that's the most important part to me right now. Because I feel like we could literally put anyone on stage and people are so eager to get out and drink that like
100%.
they're going to, you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
But I think the important thing is not about informing them what's going on. It's about informing them that if they do choose to go out, that they will, we're doing our part to make sure it's as safe of an environment as it could possibly for them. Because it really, there's no book on how to do this. Like everyone's writing the book as we go.
Weird.
We're just winging it.
So like, that's crazy. It's like, or before this, you probably couldn't book just some local DJ to come play up here and get 250 people in here, just like on a night.
Which is a shame, honestly, because like there was a time before me, before you, before any of us were involved in the industry that it was actually about the music, and it's really turned into about the name and where that name aligns on a festival lineup, and that's going to determine how many tickets you sell and
other
how many
experiences too.
Yeah, like it will. Yeah, and think of all.
What I mean?
Yeah, think of all the music festivals that exist now too, and they're like, are they going to spend $17 to come to a show here, or are they going to save up $17 a week for 2 months to go to a festival? And so it's made it's compared to where the music industry was even a decade ago, which is still before my time. Things have made just like an incredible shift, and it really sucks for those local artists to build their careers, because unless they get a dope opening slot for someone that's big that's going to bring out 1,000 people, it's really hard to get your name out there. It's not the easiest thing in the world, or to build support from large artists that are going to share your work.
Well, how do you stay on top of all that with all like these giant festivals and shit, building these massive fucking lineups, and people who in New Orleans who just not go to shows are saving up for going to a festival? Like how do you get on top of that without like I guess how would you do it? Because I know how I would do it, but I want to know how you actually do it.
So it's all about like radius, and it's not very hard to go on the internet with like Google and Facebook that track your every move and your interests and everything like that, to tell how many people from a certain area are interested in something else. And it's not hard to look at people's social media feed to see who's interested in going to festivals, and do research to see who's bought their ticket. Like you literally could go to Twitter, and like if you want to look at someone's name and filter it by outside lands or any festival, you could see if they've tweeted about it, if they've shared anything about it, if they bought a ticket for it. So it's not hard to determine how many people from our area are interested in the festival. And we take that information and we say like, look, EDC Las Vegas is happening this weekend, so we either need to go fucking huge and book a name that is gonna like guarantee that people can't miss it around here, or we're gonna try and program less risky and smaller, because we don't feel like we're going to be able to compete with the crowd that's going to be interested in this other thing happening. It's tricky. It's very difficult sometimes to judge where to put your risk at when it comes to these other things happening, because like I get it. Like I'd love to go see a 9,000 foot stage with an owl shitting fire. like yeah, fucking right. Like
I want to see that too, man.
Maybe one day here.
Yeah.
If you're listening to us, EDC, make the owl shit fire.
He probably already does.
We have ideas.
I want like someone coming and it's just fire.
Coming fire.
That would,
Yes.
Oof.
If anyone watching this has chlamydia,
What kind of image does that put out?
reach out to Mitch. He would like to watch you come.
I thought that was well known already. Fucking weirdo.
Only if you come fire.
Yes.
Do you think dragons come fire?
Dude.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Good point.
Where else does it come from?
Well, what else?
come from?
Well, so if a dragon breathes fire, does that mean that a dragon doesn't have saliva? Like that, what's wet that comes out of a dragon? What's hot? So I'm imagine if the mouth can make saliva, it can make wet and fire.
It probably depends on his diet.
Well, what's in
It's-
his?
if-
Did you
if-
just assume the dragon's gender?
No. Oof.
His diet. Wow.
Wow.
Dragon. Oof.
Twitter, if you're watching
Drag
this,
eye.
Cancel iCroswell.
hashtag cancel iCroswell.
Dude, so how
It's
did
mids.
how did the coronavirus fuck you up, man? Because I know you had a lot of bookings going on and shit. Like,
Yes,
how
talk
has
to
it
us.
been?
Talk to us about brides.
Yeah.
Brides. Oh yeah. So like I said earlier, I do a lot of wedding videography on the side if I'm not shooting shows. And as soon as all this happened, obviously all the brides had to cancel and reschedule weddings or do it in a different, smaller fashion. So I had to pay back all these deposits and stuff because I didn't have a COVID clause in my contract. 'Cause,
Right.
who
Most people
the
didn't,
hell
yeah.
did? But also, they're people that I know and like I care about my customers like you should. So when they do that, it would have been really bad to not pay their deposits back. Obviously, it hurt me being at the very beginning of COVID, but that's just a speck compared to like a lot of losses everyone else has taken. So I got over that in about a week. I did my moping and got over it. But there's other people that are still dealing with all their stuff. So
Yeah.
But it was small. But I mean, we're supposed to have another wedding next month, and it's gonna be weird seeing how that is because everybody's gonna be either acting weird or just confused.
You may look at the bride. That's the thing. There's no kissing in that moment.
You may air kiss the bride.
Fist bump the bride.
Fist bump the bride.
You may give the bride some elbow. That's what I've been doing. I'm giving people an elbow.
Elbow, yeah, I've
But-
been fist bumping.
That and then on the show side of things, just BOO Fest was a week away, and there's very very close personal goals. I was gonna shoot your set.
Yeah, I was so ready. dude.
Everybody was sad about that. I felt like that was the moment everyone from around here's heart really dropped. I know it's fucking not that serious in a grand scheme of things, but everyone is super tied to that festival because BOO is like home to all of us. We've all had such great times there. And
The only thing good to come from, I think BOO having to postpone, cancel, whatever, is that no one had to endure a taboo set. I think that if anything, the Rona
Rough.
saved us.
It was going to be the most New Orleans
You're just
style
gonna play Cotton
taboo
Eye
set
Joe
I
over
was
and
gonna
over
do.
again.
If I have to hear something about eating an ass that tastes like strawberries one more time,
Well,
well,
dude, there's
Flume might have
new-
eaten an ass on stage, so that would have been a thing.
but what did it taste like? Because the fruit here is what's important. I don't care about
it
eating
might have been
ass.
strawberries.
Is the girl from Ponchatoula?
Oof.
Why does it
Swamp
taste like
ass.
strawberries? Second of all, a strawberry is not even a thing.
It's like this. It's like the snozberries.
Markability, dude.
You should have just said snozberries.
Well, I wasn't talking about snowberries. I'm talking about
You'd have got
strawberries.
sued. Fucking an Oompa Loompa lawyer would have pulled up and been like,
Well, dude, that's it, dude.
cease and desist.
I have new songs that are about doing other sexual. All my whole brand is just sexual innuendos. Okay.
No, we know. Yeah, we've caught
I
on to
finished in
that.
30 seconds and cried myself to sleep. That's like
Bass noise.
dubstep.
I like it.
I'll take it.
I enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool.
You could actually sample this from the podcast and
I'm
use
going
it,
to.
and I'm not even going to be mad at it. I
Yeah,
only
you're
want
not gonna come at me
10%.
Chris isn't going to be impressed until you
I will
remix
Come at
Africa
me
by
for
Toto.
royalties.
Oh no, my Oompa Loompa lawyer is going to show up and with a cease and desist.
When you say you're Oompa Loompa lawyer, do you mean like a little guy?
So you're assuming that it's a guy.
Yeah. Wow.
Look at you.
Hashtag cancel taboo 2020.
It's been that.
I'm the only one that hasn't said something offensive to a minority here.
Let's get back to music.
Okay, well, all right. So, how about you tell me who's the best? Like, who's somebody that you are like a giant fucking fan of, and then you got to shoot, and you were like pissing your pants about it. And
A lot of them, honestly, 'cause I have a really personal tie to my work. So a lot of artists that I chase down to shoot. There's different reasons for different reasons why I want certain shots. Like I'll hear like with Kid Cudi getting to shoot him. Like that's my favorite artist. So
isn't
whenever
it so funny when you said that? I got to
I
shoot.
know I
shot
gotta watch
Kid Cudi.
I gotta watch what I say on Twitter because a lot of times I'm like I want to shoot so and so artist, but I obviously mean
You hear
like,
that, Chris?
take
Fucking Brad said he
pictures.
wants to shoot people.
and I mean I could obviously get
We
looked
could
at.
definitely clip that and make it sound.
Well, yeah,
I wanna
I mean,
shoot-
yeah.
I
they're
want to
probably going.
shoot Kid Cudi. Oh wow, Brad.
I would love that. But no, anyway, so Winter's Circle brought him down here, I think it was 2017. And I got the opportunity to shoot that. And that was definitely the biggest, like, whoa. Like, this is cool. Like,
When does he become adult Cudi or even teenage Cudi?
Never. He's always, that's Kid Cudi, Scott Muscudi. He never.
It's like
never.
little people, like Lil Wayne. When is he gonna become like?
That's what was that meme we saw earlier? It was like,
Average
do you know
size
an old?
Wayne.
Do you know an old person named Justin?
You really? Wow. I've never met an old person named
Or like
Justin.
No one
baby's
has.
named George? Like what?
I don't know that I've ever met like a Justin that I liked either.
Oh fuck!
Justin's one of those names. Think of one. Justin Timberlake is the only cool Justin as far
I
as
know.
I'm
Jerry
I know. I know another good Justin.
What?
Actually, I don't know if I like this guy because he was like best friends with my brother, and he would just come over on Christmas and
And
break
say,
all the
"All lives
toys.
And eat
matter."
all your food.
No, he did eat all of our food, and he broke all of my toys on Christmas.
Fuck Justin,
That's
man.
what you-
Fuck Justin, dude.
Justin, if you're watching this, fuck you.
All the Justins.
Jesus Christ.
But
This just in.
Justin. So that's actually
Fuck
a question I
Justin.
was going to ask Chris. Like as far as, your passion being involved in your job, and obviously there's things that you want to do that you have the ability to do based on the work that we do. It's like, if I were to ask you what would be like your most incredible booking that you could do, which you probably have done, because I know you've done some wild
What
stuff.
would be like
Thanks for
my
solving
Not
the
even-
question for him, but
Not
okay.
you, sorry.
I'm
I
fucking with you.
apologize.
No, I'm fucking with you,
Well,
dude.
no,
It's all
because you
good.
asked me that.
Brad's asking the questions now. Fuck Mitch.
Yeah, well.
What's
hey,
up,
fuck-
Brad?
Fuck Mitch.
Welcome to Brad Talks.
Yeah, Brad
Talks with
Hey, I'll be
Brad.
talking. I'll be talking.
You do be talking. Bitches be talking.
You be sending memes.
Wait, so what? Give me the exact question.
So the
Because
que-
you
I
aren't
guess-
good at words.
Yeah,
That
I don't
sucked.
know. Yeah,
That's
I'm
all-
sorry. So if you were to be able to put on any kind of event personally, like if it like disregard ticket sales, disregard the
The
numbers,
cost of whatever it is. Yeah.
disregard all that, like based on I have access to a venue, I want to go crazy. Let's do it. And an artist was down, like as big as it could be. What would be that artist? Like who would you want to come bless this place? That either they might have already been here, or they might not have. But who would it be? If that was any better.
Oh God. So I think that if I had to do, one just massive show, that's like an incredibly tough question.
I
Because
know.
like my music tastes are all over the fucking field. But whoever it would be, and I'm still thinking about that, as long as I'd have 20 EDM photographers on stage blocking everyone's view, I think it'd be a good experience.
Hey, I try to stay out the way.
No.
Hey, you getting our way? You up there with the cell phone back there?
Yeah.
Live stream.
No, he just walks across the front of the stage. He just walks
Yeah.
across.
You have to assert dominance, dude. I pee on the CDJs before every show.
So do I. So that's real weird.
So like, oh wow.
Wait, I
We're
do it.
gonna have a
I do
problem.
it on stage while I'm playing.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen that
Oh wow!
That's fake.
I'm actually talking about it while I'm doing it.
on the mic. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Never book.
Yeah, just don't pay
Jamie, pull
attention.
that shit up.
God,
Yeah.
so if I could just book any person that I'd want to play my stage, does it have to be a certain genre? Or can
No,
it just be
not at all.
anyone?
Anybody.
Like just a realistic musical artist that you would love to.
Well,
put
you
on
just
an
said
event.
anyone.
Yeah,
and you were
no,
like, realistic.
not realistic, unrealistic.
It would have to
dude.
be
Well, no, like
unreal.
alive is what I'm saying. Like,
Alive.
Alive.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I get like
Someone that
physically that could
isn't-
happen.
Fuck, man.
I guess that narrows it down a little bit, maybe.
I think that if I could put any one person on my stage, it would probably be Pharrell Williams or
Ooh.
Outkast.
Outcast is it? That would be
I
crazy.
think actually I love Pharrell, but I'm gonna have to go with Outkast on that one.
That'd be such a sick show in New Orleans.
and that would
right
fit.
here on
That's
the
what I mean. Yeah, it
stage.
would fit here. That would be dope.
I'm just thinking about Outkast and thinking about everything they stood for through their career and their discography. I just think that it would be a fucking vibe, man.
yeah.
I just think that I can't imagine anyone goes to an Outkast show to cause any trouble. And those are my favorite shows. When you have, like when we did J-Rock here and a few other people, where it seemed like everyone in the crowd was just here to have a good time. No one wanted to start shit with anyone. No one wanted to, people just wanted to come here and fucking listen to good music and have a
Yeah.
good time. And those are the best shows to me, because you could look out in a crowd during a show and just see everyone just fucking moving together. And that's what music's about. It's about togetherness. It's about, speaking that universal language that I talked about earlier. And I feel like if there's any group that I'm a fan of, but have also, done their part to create this language that we all speak, I think that Outkast has been one of the most influential acts in the history of music and hip hop.
Good answer, dude.
Yeah.
What about what was like an artist that you really wanted to get in the stage? Like it was really fucking hard, but you got him up here. Like your favorite. No, I wouldn't say favorite. Like what's like an artist you're like, fuck man, I don't know if we can get him up here, and then you got him.
I did that.
I
moment.
didn't personally get him, working with Winter Circle and Buku, but
Right,
whenever
right.
we got a phone call before Buku, I think it was 2018, and they were like, "Hey, we're announcing Deadmau5 at Republic," and I was like, "Fucking funny, dude. That's fucking hilarious." And they're like, "No, really, we're announcing Deadmau5 at Republic," and I was like, you're really telling me that you're announcing Dead Mouse in a 1,000-cap venue in New Orleans, and
I
they were
know
like,
Jacob would say the
yeah.
same thing.
in that show to me, like, you know, that's probably like one of the things that's the only time I've cried at a show. And like, I'm a fucking manly man. If you know me, I don't
Dude,
cry.
I know a lot of men, and you're one of them for real.
Like I'll skin a mule deer right now. Like,
You don't know how.
I'm what? You do not know how, or I don't know how.
You do not know
I
how.
can skin a deer faster than you can do anything.
Except nut.
Go piss, come back. There will be a fully field dressed deer. Like, no. Well, and so like, fuck, it was.
You might know how.
You know,
okay.
I watched Dead Mouse's whole set at Buku that day, and then he played here that night, and
Wasn't it like him and Rez.
yeah, it was him,
Yeah.
Rez, and No Mana, and Rez is about to go on because she was closing for him, and she's like setting up, and he's like, "Nah, I got one more song," and like he goes. It's quiet, and he goes, "Is this what you motherfuckers wanted?" And then you hear Strobe start to play, and he didn't play Strobe at like Buku or anything like that. And you know, that's like the quintessential electronic track. Like, there's no better song than it in the electronic music world, as far as I'm concerned, in my own personal opinion. And I was like, I looked at Jason Starkey from Raven, who was sitting right there running our board, and I was like, he's a huge Dead Mouse fan. I'm like, yo, Dead Mouse is playing fucking Strobe on our stage right now.
Yes.
And he looked at me and he goes, yeah. And like, dude, like tears just started rolling down my face. I was like, man, if you would have told me in 2013 when I started here as like a ticket scanner that I was going to be able to help people experience something like that in this room, I would have been like, you fucking crazy. But you know, we did it.
Fuck
We
yeah.
fucking sent it.
Full send it.
Full sent it, and it happened. And like, that's just like, you know, you say think of like who you'd want here if you had any budget or anything like that. But electronic music wise, if I wouldn't have already had him, I'd say it'd be someone like Dead Mouse. I mean,
Yeah,
that man's been so influential on like how we experience electronic music as a whole, that like I don't think that I mean, I'd love to have a Skrillex DJ set up there. I think that if it was right now in this moment, if someone said you have any amount of money to have someone DJ here, I'd be like,
That would be dangerous.
call Skrillex.
Dangerous.
Call Skrillex. I want Skrillex on the phone now.
Get me Sonny Moore.
What are your favorite type of shows to have on the stages here? Like as far as like electronic jam bands, like funk bands, rap shows.
Not taboo sets.
Yeah.
Anything except for Taboo is an A+. And it's probably you know, I love electronic music, so obviously what we do the most of. My favorite shows to have here from a personal experience and like actually watching the show is jam band shit during Jazz Fest. Because, you know, we put on with some guys from New York, we put on these shows that have like members from like fucking Dead and Company, people that play music with like John Mayer and fucking arenas, and they're here playing these like Grateful Dead tribute shows. And like just watching these guys play these instruments, like we're talking about guys in their 50s and 60s that have been
playing their entire lives.
been playing since the 70s, and like just watching the pure proficiency. And like they don't go in. I've been in the green room when they go over a set list. I've been in the like, and they literally just write down the first word of the song title and what key it's in, and they don't practice.
Mm-hmm.
They just go up there knowing exactly what key a song's gonna be in, and each song's like 15 minutes of just pure fucking music. It's just pure like musical talent, and those to me are so entertaining to watch. And most of the people that are here are like old retired CPAs that are like microdosing, and so like they hear the music and everything like that. But you know, at shows I stay sober 99% of the time, so I'm like just sitting there looking at these guys like Jeff Chimenti from Dead and Company playing keyboard, and his eyes are closed and his head's tilted up, but the motherfucker's hands are moving faster than anything I've ever seen, and he never misses a lick. And like, I'm never gonna be that good at anything in my life.
No,
Never.
you will not.
I won't, and I've accepted that. But like to just be able to admire these people's ability, like how hard they had to work to get to where they are now, on a proficiency scale in their career. Like Brad's never going to take a picture that's as good as Jeff Chimenti is at keyboard.
I'm never
No,
gonna
that's
press
fair.
play.
That's fair. That's why it's fun though.
Yeah, these guys didn't have a sync button.
Yeah, I'm never gonna press play the way that
But
that guy.
in that question from Mitch to me, and since Brad hijacked Mitch's job earlier, Brad, what are your favorite shows to shoot? Is it hip hop?
Dude, I was
Is
literally
it
about to ask that question, Chris.
electronic? Is it?
Personally, I like shooting y'all sets because they're fun. Because I know y'all. Y'all being you, Taboo, Clutch, Baldy, all the homies down here, S-Fam, obviously implied. But those and I love hip hop. I love hip hop shows, but really haven't gotten too many opportunities to shoot those other than like at Buku and stuff. So haven't had too many of those. But I would say, like I said, y'all and like hip hop shows. Like Kid Cudi, that show was just that put me on such euphoria, and like Anderson .Paak, that's more than hip hop, but just it shows with drums, anything like live instruments. Like the Boogie Trio set at Voodoo, was that two years ago on a Sunday? It was beautiful. It's some of my favorite pictures, and just because like the music and the atmosphere and the people kind of just do the work for you. So the shows that look good, I guess, makes sense.
Man, photographers just love it when everyone else does things for them.
No,
the crowd does their thing, the DJ does their thing, and I just press a button and I take all the credit.
No, it's a big. That's why I'm saying this. It's a big process. When it looks big, you got to get the venue, you got to get the people that book the show, you got to get the light guy. Shout out Tony. Tony's a G. Different people like that just do everything. Like me and Carlos, whenever we y'all put too much smoke out and we're shooting a show, we're like, we need to turn the smoke off. Like, there's way too much smoke, because we know like what'll look good in a picture. And I know the picture's not everything, but stuff like that where you're able to, read the environment and like what people want to see.
And just
things that
piggyback off that, like a picture's not everything, but it's so incredibly valuable in helping people retain that memory, because
that's the biggest point is like that. I mean, like I said earlier, I like being able to give y'all stuff to remember certain moments, like family photos and whatnot. That's special, and it's special to everybody out there. Like there's people that go and see like their favorite artists, and like they get to take that picture with their favorite artist, and they want to find their little head or their hand that's up there. It's like it's the little things like that that just make experiences funner. Because I'm a huge fan of going to shows, and like when I'm at shows out of town that I have no idea of how to get involved with shooting, I just go to enjoy them. And I'm in the crowd and I'm just sitting there thinking like, man, like that's what I would do, or like that would make me feel good about this show or whatever. So just anything that like is personally tied, I guess.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Like fun.
Chris, what is up with this Wook wall, bro?
I do not speak for the Wook wall.
I love the Wook wall.
God, it's just this.
First, explain what it is, and then finish what you're just about to say.
This fucking brick wall across the street from here, and like we had our security do such a decent job at stopping people from bringing in illicit substances and shit like that, or doing them on the premises, because like that's a liability for us. That they just started to like congregate at this wall across the street, and that's where now like the Wookiest of the Wook that come to shows, and like don't take Wook as an insult. Like, I mean,
I love Wooks.
I
make fun of them every day, but I love the shit out of them.
We know, everybody knows what we're talking about here. If you've been to a show in the past 2 years,
one of the most rewarding things from my career is the amount of people that come to shows that I recognize, that recognize me, and we always like they're always like they'll stop me and ask how I'm doing that night, and they see me running around like a crazy person, and like those people really are like a family, like the Wook family. Like they look after one another. And for them to like consistently stop me and like say like, hey, how are you? It makes me feel like, an honorary Wook. And fuck yeah. But no, the Wook wall is a monster that I created on Twitter. And so one day I coined the wall as the Wook wall. And instead of them being like, yeah, we probably shouldn't hang out by this random wall on a sidewalk as much, they're like, fuck it, it's the Wook wall now. And they got like a city ordinance sign. Probably.
No, and they spray painted it. Somebody, I don't know, not they. Somebody spray painted it.
Somebody like fucking Wook. Like,
yeah, I know, but I'm not gonna say they all painted it together, as in they.
It was a fucking
one
trans
Wook,
fan.
hopefully.
Above and beyond spray painted Wook wall.
A big drum and bass head out there, fucking with his bald head and high socks.
Charles Gary Edward Kendama King. He spray painted it.
I heard Carlos did it.
Carlos did it.
That's what I heard.
Carlos.
Mencia?
No. Stealing jokes.
No, he would have stole the wall too.
Yeah, he'd stole the wall. It's a Wook now.
And so like every now and then we make little jokes with the Wook wall and everything like that, and it's pissed off the hotel across the street. But guess what? They've made noise complaints at us, so we're even.
Yeah, well, it's New Orleans.
Like,
if you come to New Orleans and it's loud, deal with it.
They're like complaining about the Wook wall. Like, we're not over there.
Yeah, but also like they complain. They've made numerous noise complaints against us, and I was like, all right, you want to play that game? I'll create a new city outside of your hotel that you can do
City,
nothing about.
Hooverville.
Where there's a whole bartering system.
Wooks, attack! And you want to see a protest? Take the Wook wall away. They will attack police with poi.
No, they won't. They'll go they'll go around the corner and do what they were doing.
Have you ever
there.
seen them spin the light things? I don't want to fuck with them.
That dude, give him some nunchucks is over with, bro.
Some plurchucks, like
Some
fucking-
player chucks.
Like
You seen a condom, dude?
if you could be, how about this? If you could be
Good at
good at
that.
one thing in the world that you currently know nothing about, what would it be?
Insert Chris Talks joke here.
Computer programming.
That's valid. That is a skill that is going to have value for the rest of our lifetime.
Yeah. If I could be a master
Nice.
of that, computer programming. Or the piano, I'd love to be a master. No, actually, I know a lot about it, so I'm not a master, but computer programming.
You understand music theory to the point where you could break
Right.
down the
Exactly.
scales on a piano. What
Yeah.
about you, Brad? If you could be good at one thing,
I wish I could draw.
Draw?
I always say that. I envy people that can draw very well. It's so satisfying watching somebody
Singing would be
do
cool.
it. Sing.
Chris says he
yeah.
could sing, but
that-
then I heard him get on stage and do Avril Lavigne, and it was fucking
it
horrible.
was the wrong key. It's not me, it's her.
Okay.
Avril Lavigne, if you're watching this, have a deeper voice.
How many famous do you think Elon Musk and Avril Lavigne are watching this? That'd be cool.
Yes.
I think they're the only ones watching it.
2 viewers.
What about
How
you,
else are they
Chris?
going to formulate their opinion on anything in the world?
Elon might collab with Avril Lavigne. He makes music.
Dude,
Him
Chris,
and Grimes?
what about you? What would you do if you could do that thing that you just asked us?
I'd be a sword forger.
Because that has
Seriously, or are you
Or
being
yeah, you're a
funny?
motherfucker.
I think that
would
from
be
what I've
cool.
watched,
forgery is coming back.
it seems like it would be a very, very relaxing career / hobby to be able. It's not an easy thing to get into, and there's work to be done in it, making movie props and shit like that, and like there's legitimate sword collectors that want replicas of swords. And like I just watch it and I'm like, man, I think it'd be super badass to not only make swords, but be fucking awesome at making swords. So where people come from all over the world to get a sword, not just a sword made by you.
So it was a serious question.
It's
It
like
was
in a
a-
Kill Bill, like that fucking what's the sword name that she
The
had?
katana? I don't know the name of the sword.
I
I've
don't
never
know.
watched
You know what
Kill
I've
Bill.
always wondered? Like if you go to some like crazy city on vacation and you like end up like in New Orleans, especially, they sell all kind of weird shit here. Come to New Orleans on vacation with no plans on buying like a replica sword from some like antique shop. How do you get the sword home?
You sneak it through the airport.
You can't. No. Do you tape it to the wing or
You just kind of walk in with confidence
with
and
the
see what
sword?
happens. You just got to walk with a
Sneak
purpose.
it through TSA,
If you
bro.
look like you belong, no one will give a fuck. Or, hear me out, while you're buying the sword in New Orleans, you also either pay off or buy a TSA uniform from someone.
I want to switch topics to go back to like some music stuff. So, Chris, being a guy that kind of gave Brad and I a shot here when we came up and wanted to do something, you probably deal with that a lot with people coming up and wanting to do some shit, dude.
Yeah.
What's some of the most wrong ways that someone has done that?
Good question.
Yeah.
Really good question.
It's all about wording and how you approach something. So, like, the worst way you could do it is just being dishonest about where you are in your level of music production and where you like people coming up and saying like, yo, I've been making music, I'm the next big thing, like I'm the hottest like person like coming up in the city and stuff like that. And it's like, well, you need to have the fucking analytics to back it up, because the first thing I'm going to do is look at you and you have less followers than my dog on Instagram, then like I'm gonna be like, yo, maybe you aren't the next big thing coming up. Why would you tell? And I'm all about being confident, but I'm also about being realistic, because I'll absolutely give anyone a shot to play a slot as an opener or something like that, to where I could experience how they perform, how they handle themselves and whatnot. But I don't want someone that it's when people act like they know it all, because I don't even know it all, and I've been doing this for a while now. And when people just come in too overconfident, that really just rubs me the wrong way, where I'm like, just be humble.
Yeah.
Because like I know what I'm doing, but I'm never going to walk into a room with a bunch of other people that buy talent and be like, I'm the next big talent buyer out there. I know how to do this. Like they do also. So like, in another thing too is like being someone that has studied and understands music theory. When someone sends me music, and like if you're gonna make music, like, and I'm all for people like as a hobby or whatever, just make sure that it makes sense theoretically. Make sure that you're you're playing like in a correct chord progression and in the
That sure
correct
sounds
key.
good.
Actually, like know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about or you don't know what you're doing, ask someone that does, because more than likely there's someone out there, especially in a community like ours in New Orleans, that is going to help you. That's going to be willing to like show you or like and be willing to accept criticism. That's another big one. I'm gonna just go on all day with this.
Yeah.
If a local or anyone isn't able to accept criticism, like people when they play here for the first, second, third time, they'll usually stop me and ask me like, "What'd you think of my set?" People ask me what I thought of their set the whole time, and sometimes I'm like, for the most part, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be like, look, I think that it was like you read the crowd well. I think that, the track choice was fine, but I think your mixing could use some work. And they like, some of them look taken aback and they're like,
You're just trying to better those people. You're
Yeah,
not
I'm not-
hating.
No, I'm not
you're just
hating at all.
trying
I'm
to
just
you're
like,
trying to
I'm-
grow.
I'm not going to book you again, but I'm just saying like, your mixing needs a little bit of work. Like you can't go like 128 and a 144 and like just put a filter over it and think that the world's going to be okay.
Don't open up the show with throwing elbows.
Yeah. Don't play other fucking DJs.
Or the
music.
opener, yeah.
Well, that's
I hate
another,
that.
That's another big thing. Know your place in like, and that's like, I mean, the question was really like, whenever people are asking to play here and shit like that,
Right.
what's something that turns out the wrong way? But like, if you're an opener and you think it's okay to play Throwing Elbows or Like a Bitch, those two songs specifically,
Please just don't.
just remove it from your USB completely. You could keep every other song you have on there. I do not care. But if you have Throwing Elbows and Like a Bitch in any remix form or fashion,
You hate Excision.
no, I don't hate Excision. I think Excision has done brilliant things for the incredibly chaotic electronic music scene.
Mhm.
Because that all that music sounds like to me at this point is chaos. Like
Chaos, dude.
there's
It's just
definitely
insanely aggressive chaos.
there's definitely like a place and a time for it. It's just never a place where I'm at by myself or time that I ever exist in. Like I respect it. I get the crowd that likes it. I have nothing but
It is very chaotic.
admiration for it. Way too chaotic for me at this point in my career after like, being through 800 plus concerts.
Have you ever had a guy come up to you like mid show or at the end of the show like hella fucked up with like a SoundCloud link like dude, you gotta listen to my shit, man. I love like just loud as
I've
shit.
had people stop me outside and like try and put an Android in my face. And first of all, if you have an Android, don't talk to me. I thought that was
If
clear.
your text saying blue,
If your text saying blue, it ain't for you. Like and yeah, no, I've had people stop me on the sidewalk and be like, "Yo, you want to hear me rap right now?" And it's like 4 a.m. and I've been here 16 hours and be like, literally, no, I don't want to hear you rap
I
right
want
now.
to see you make me something to eat.
That's not saying that I don't want to hear what your art is at some point or another, but like 4 a.m. on a
Dude,
Saturday
I've
after
never
I
had a
work.
guy come up to me and ask me that at 4 a.m. Bro, you want to hear me rap? I've never had that happen, but if it did, I'd be so about it. Like, dude, please, that's the
Living
only
in
thing.
Baton Rouge, that shit happens all the time. People are like, "Yo, you want to buy my CD?" All the time.
I had a guy do it to him, actually do that to me like in the middle of his show.
Just show me your Spotify little
Like not
code.
while I'm playing, but like I was about to go on. He's like, "Dude, we got a link, man. Like, let's check it." And then it just starts going. I was like, "What?" It was awesome. I'm glad it happened.
We need to unnormalize every like I wouldn't even say local, but everyone just like fucking wanting to collab with everyone. Because like here's the thing, you need to have a certain level of chemistry as an artist to be able to collab with someone and it be done well.
Right.
You can't just collab with anyone and like both our names are on, because the idea behind it is you combine your following, I combine my following, we make something together, and now we have like a shared following that will then help this song get its out. But that's not how it works, because it doesn't matter if 50,000 people follow you or 50 people follow you. If you don't have any chemistry with that person, you make a doo-doo track.
Right.
It's not going to take off because
I've
it's
done
a
some doo-doo
doo-doo track.
collabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
understand what same way you've done doo-doo collabs, I've done doo-doo events with people. And guess what? Whenever I figured out that I didn't have chemistry in putting on an event with certain promoters and people, we don't do it again.
What are some doo-doo stories you've had of artists? Some people that like you like were really stoked to have, or you thought were just gonna be the nicest people. I mean, you don't have to say artist names if you don't want to, but also you could be like, "Fuck it, I'll say whatever I want."
to.
Man, there's been a lot of experiences that I could say have been like less than ideal, where not only did I have high expectations for the artist, but other friends within the industry have like spoken highly of them and said like, "Oh, they're so nice, they're so cool, like we enjoyed having them." and I get that like variables change. Like a lot of times, artists will, if they have a rough day of travel or if they're on like fucking week 30 of tour, like they're not
Yeah.
gonna be, they're not gonna act the same way that they would under different circumstances. But no, I mean, I've had an artist have their manager try and hold me up in the green room bathroom over like $750 in cash because the contract that we signed with the agent said we wouldn't be settling in cash. And the tour manager came up to me and says, "Yo, where's our cash?" And I said, "There is no cash." And he was like, "What you mean there's no cash?" And I was like, "It's like a forward sentence, dude. There's no cash." And he's like, "No, we ain't going on if we don't get this in cash." And I was like, "Then don't go on. It's fine. We'll just get our deposit back from your agent. Like, you don't need look, like if you would like to cancel on your behalf, then fine. Like, I would love to have your artist perform. I would love for everything to go as planned. But if you are so tight pressed to go against the contract that your representative signed, then by all means, go. It's fine. The world will continue to spin. We will continue to have shows. You'll hopefully continue to breathe and get better at understanding simple sentences. But yeah, no, I've had someone like push me up against the wall and like rough me up and be like, "Yo, if you don't give us that $750 cash, we're gonna have a problem." And I was like, "Please hit me." I'm like, "Please, like it's $750, dog. I'll like not to like be that guy." I was like, "I'll go to the ATM right now and get $750." Like just because like it's not to show you how insignificant of an amount of money it is when you talk about the grand scheme of the music industry.
Right.
And I know you guys are touring and doing okay. Like, do you really need the $750 that bad, dog? Just wait
Right now,
in
like that's
cash?
not what the
In
contract
cash?
is.
Yeah, and it's not what the contract says. And I'm sorry, but if I have a legally binding document, we're going by what the legally binding document says. I've had a ton of experiences that like have gone negatively, I think, as an attribute to people not understanding a contract, not actually reading the contract. Not actually reading a contract is probably the most popular form of
I don't even read, dude. So
well, you're from Mississippi.
Terrible.
Not surprising at all. Just like I can't do simple math.
They made it the hardest state to spell too. I don't know why they did
dude,
that.
right?
My favorite part about Mississippi is probably time travel. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
it's fucking
right
weird.
when you go
isn't
in
it?
and you're back in the 1950s, it's crazy.
Fucking weird,
How do you feel about Sippy changing their state flag?
dude. Go for them, man. I'm proud of them, but I mean, I just don't know if it's actually going to change. They just have so many old like minds back there. I just like I want it to, but I just don't see it really coming
Old
together.
people, if you're listening to this, die.
Die already, so we can change.
We'll
the
be
fucking
fine
flag.
without you. We promise.
But would you say for the most part though, like everyone's pretty nice to come up and play?
Everyone, the majority of my experiences have all been perfectly fine and professional.
Yeah.
I've definitely dealt with like touring support or like a support, like a national touring act that came in as a support for a bigger act, not knowing their place and being like over the top diva. I think I've dealt with more particular artists and divas than I've dealt with necessarily rude artists or people that were directly rude to me.
Yeah.
But it's simple things like I had to get Fiji water instead of smart water, and they're like, "But this isn't smart water." I'm like, "But it's still way too expensive for a bottle of water. So does that not like tickle your fancy? Do you
Right.
feel like your net worth will drop if you drink this water over that water? I'll taste both of them for you, and I'm sure they'll both hydrate me. Like, just calm the fuck down." And I get it. People are particular, and people like to feel at home everywhere they go, and they want to have their own special thing. But sometimes it's just not possible. And we always explain when we can't get something that like we looked everywhere, we did what we could, but we couldn't find this. When people still get upset after that, if we said like what else do you expect? I'm not gonna like fucking Harry Potter it out of the sky. Like it's not gonna I can't make it exist. I can't make it exist. And people are just rude sometimes when things aren't 100% perfect. And guess what? We don't live in a 100% perfect world. I've never gone up to an artist after a show and been like, "Yeah, I heard you fuck up that cue 3 minutes in. What the fuck?" Like I paid for a perfect show. We paid like how dare you make
I
a
thought
mistake?
I was booking a professional.
Yeah.
A robot.
What's the
Oh
weirdest
shit!
picture?
Mitch coughed. We have to leave the room.
Yeah, dude, I went to fucking Alabama, dude. Who knows what happened?
Rest in peace, Mitch Draper. I'm
R.I.P.
saying this in advance for if he does die from corona.
Dude, if I do die and you're the first person to say R.I.P., I'm glad I'm dead.
All right, word. That's what everyone says. Like when I like people see me on my motorcycle or whatever, they're like, be careful. Like, it's crazy out there. It's dangerous. And I'm like, duh. Like, I didn't buy a fucking motorcycle to be safe. I didn't buy a motorcycle to survive. Like, if I die,
That's when you pull out your sword, you're like, I'm okay.
if I die on my motorcycle, trust me, I was smiling. Like, like, this is fucking sick. And then I died.
Right.
Like,
that's what I feel about life, man. It's just like, fuck it, dude. We're gonna die anyway. Let's just get back to living.
yeah, that's a good sentiment.
Yeah.
Or because there's a lot of people out there like, you only live once, so don't fucking do anything. Put on a helmet. Like,
Right.
and like,
You don't put on a helmet, at least go ride the bike.
yeah, I mean, there you go. That's another good one, man. You should write books. Speaking of, Brad Croswell does have a book, Nostalgia Volume 1, featuring photographs from his career. You could find him on Twitter at iCroswell to order yours today.
Thank you for the ad. I didn't even pay you for that.
That was
you actually have to
sponsorship
pay.
time.
You actually have to pay me because it's on my podcast. Yeah, so there
I'm
you
going
go.
to invoice Mitch, who will then invoice you.
No, yeah.
Because this voice work doesn't come for free.
No, you're doing well.
I had to pay so much money to get Chris on here today, dude.
My time is way more valuable than both of these guys. And like, honestly, I haven't checked Twitter in like an hour, and I'm
He's
shaking.
losing his fucking
I'm
mind.
fucking shaking.
All right, Brad. What's the weirdest fucking picture that you've like someone's asked you to take?
I don't know about weird, but like it's always aggravating when people stop you in the crowd, especially like if you're in a dark venue and you're in the back of the crowd. And I don't carry my flash on me at all times. And they stop and ask for a picture. They don't understand that like if you don't have a flash, it's like not possible. It's not gonna look good. And
Right.
I'm just trying to keep it moving and get where I'm trying to go. But weird, I don't know about weird. No one's really asked me to do anything crazy with that.
Yeah.
But
I had a photographer booked during New Year's, and he walked into the green room, and I'm butt naked, and I'm like,
Well, yeah,
I get my
you
cowboy
didn't.
hat over my dick, and I'm like, okay, take a picture of me real quick, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I always find it corny when people are like, take a picture of me doing this, looking like this. It's like, if you got to think about it that hard, you're thinking about the Instagram picture and not
Exactly. That was the
But
reason I was
sometimes,
getting naked.
no, I get it. I get that that's an.
You think I just get naked and put a cowboy hat over my dick
you
for
do.
fun?
I've seen you do it a couple times.
Okay, word. Yeah, I
But-
think you have.
No, but I mean, I get the whole need for like promotional photos and whatnot, and like you have to promote a certain brand or certain sound that you're going with, and certain pictures go with that. But I don't know. I don't really like when people are like, I need a shot of this because of that. It's like, let me do my job, and if it comes out, it comes out. But that's just me. I don't like
I've
being.
been trying to come out, man. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking for a minute, so I just want to ask, like, when are shows coming back, Chris?
Fuck, I don't know, man. Right now we're planning on being open for the foreseeable future. Right now we're at a limited 25 person capacity. We don't know when to expect that to open up more, but as soon as we are legally allowed to let more people in and feel like we could do it in a safe manner, we will make those steps. But shows are back. You just don't expect anything big. We're doing what we can, and if it's not big enough for you to come out, then fucking stay home. I don't care. We don't need you. We're going to continue to have a good time here, and we're positive that there's enough people in our music scene that would love to support these local artists that we will have no issue filling up this room every night that we're open. And we encourage you to come out and support these local artists. They're the ones that, need it the most. They've been at home trying to, perfect their art and their form for this entire quarantine, and didn't have these giant stacks of money that all these mega producers and DJs have to say like, quarantine's been so rough, I have creator's block. But yeah, you make fucking 25 grand a show.
There's
I
an
bet that
audio in the
feels good.
background.
Right.
Yeah, and so I encourage everyone, even though these shows aren't going to be as big and grand as what we've experienced in the past, come out, come show some support, and I promise you, as fans, you will get the same level of support back from your artists when they create more vibrant art from the inspiration that you give them.
It's kind of something I was talking about to Mitch about earlier is, all these smaller independent venues that are going through all this tough time right now, and they're still having to spend money putting on these live streams, like y'all have done. Like that's not just free. You can't just do
Nope,
that.
nothing's free.
And not only is it the money, but the time and the work that you put into that. So like me and Mitch were talking earlier about like what like we could do to like possibly just, help smaller venues in any kind of way. And it's interesting seeing all these artists support all these different venues and whatnot. But I mean, for the first time in probably 3 or 4 years, when I came the other day for the house set, I bought tickets, and it felt good and it felt right, like just to buy tickets for a venue that you work for, because to support y'all and to help y'all do that. And I hope that everyone does that. Come buy a drink, come support. Do what you can to do a lot for a venue that's just working for you.
We never let an artist that plays an event to the public here go unpaid. So like when you do pay at the door, that goes right back into the pockets of the artist. We base how much we're going to pay our locals based off how much our door brings in, and so we like to take care of people and make sure that they know that their time and work is appreciated. So when you buy that ticket, when you come here and pay cover, you aren't like, it's not going into my pocket. I'm not gonna eat better because you decide. I'm not like fucking over here, Mr. Burns, like excellent. I'm fucking like it. It really is a full circle. We all look after each other in a way that like you paying cover or buying a ticket is helping that artist to be able to eat at night, and that artist eats at night and sees people come out and show that support. They get inspired. They make better art in turn. It's full circle. It's the circle of life in music, and we're all a part of it. And so it's very important that we all like do our best to do our part in it so that it could continue to survive even in the face of a very like unforeseen circumstantial time that has put a huge blow in like all the progress we had made up into that point. A lot has regressed since the world went crazy, and we're only going to come back stronger if we all work together, all artists, promoters, and fans alike.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of these drive-in shows right now?
I've only seen the price structure for one.
Dude,
and what the fuck?
Right?
What the fuck?
They better give you a down payment on a car for that. Like you better get a new little car with
your
that.
car, and then there's like $400 on the front seat, and you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, that was funny. No.
Good joke, guys. No, what the fuck? No.
Also, that's just it's not gonna be safe.
Now let's think of the fucking, in the midst of a pandemic where no one's working and like you have a historical high unemployed amount of people in America, you're going to ask these people to buy a ticket to your event, then drive their car that they have to pay for to your event, wear and tear on their car, gas for their car, get to the event, and then have to experience it from their car, which takes away from the whole experience. Like, unless you have a car with a decent sound system, you're listening through like highs, and then drive their vehicle back home.
Yeah, no, that's like the kicker.
That's my line. That's my big point.
You can't even order an Uber, dude. What if you're drunk, bro? You just get a DUI right after the show?
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Like, I'm not condoning the use of drugs or like drinking or whatever like that, but like that's a huge part of electronic music culture is like, people drink and do other things in order to elevate their experiences. And I think that, they can't do that safely in an environment where there's fucking 1,000 people in cars. You're going to have like 20 rear endings just like leaving the parking lot.
Right, yeah.
Bro, it's like leaving a show at Red Rocks. Like,
oh, God.
You got all those people. You got 20,000. A sold out show at Red Rocks. There's 20,000 people. I mean, driving down from different angles down a dark mountain.
Yeah,
it's scary every time. So
out in the parking
imagine,
lot.
I mean, all those people sitting in their car, and like people are more like private and can, I mean, we all know why that's not a good idea. But I mean, power to them. They're giving people what they want. They're trying to make it work, but you can't. I don't like doing it for that much money. That's just.
I think they're weird, man. I don't know how I feel about them, but I mean, I think it's.
I mean, it's adaptation, but I hope it's not a thing for the long term.
I think that if drive-in raves would have happened like way sooner with all this started months ago, it would make a lot more sense. But now that we're on like, and I'm not saying that like we're on the decline of the virus because it's still very much a real thing, but now that like we are starting to see ways that the CDC recommends that we could open up safely, it's just too late and it's too expensive for the product that you're giving. And all it shows to me is a level of greed. And the greed is on multiple levels. The event producers' greed, they have the biggest risk, but they're trying to turn a huge profit in a time where no one has the money to go to something to give them a profit. You have artists that still have agents that I'm sure are asking for pretty high guarantees, despite the fact that no one has any income coming in to pay those guarantees. So like these drive-in raves kind of in a way, in my opinion, are the antithesis of how the music industry needs to hold each other up in all of our, like, I guess, kind of darkest times. I'd love to see larger artists be more willing to not necessarily volunteer their time, but go to these smaller independently owned venues and like offer to do a show for cheap or something like that, or for charity or something to help, like, the venues stay on their feet, as opposed to these large artists being like, well, hit up my agent. Oh, even though no one's throwing a live show and I can't sell tickets, you still want 20 grand for an hour. Like, no, like that's not going to work. And that's not going to help anyone. All it's going to help is the artist at the end of the day. And that's pretty greedy.
You would think the artists would be itching to get back and play right now, like at any form. Like if you even, I know it's not what it used to be, but to get back to that, you got to start somewhere. And if you're not helping those venues bring in at least that small amount, I mean, I know don't want to discredit the whole social distancing thing, but like if you put a bigger show out, people are going to show up,
So to speak to that, it's really showing some people's true colors and who's in it for the music and the fans and who's in it for the paycheck.
100%.
And there's sadly a lot of people in it for the paycheck. And I get it. Like, I'd love to fucking make, $100,000 a month, go and fly to different cities on flights I didn't pay for to like to play music. I get it. But also I think that I haven't been in that position for it to remove my, like, I'm never going to forget where I came from. Anytime anyone asks me how I got to where I'm at today, it always starts with someone trusted me to scan tickets at the front door here, and that's the story. Whereas you have everyone else that's just like, fuck you, pay me. And we definitely, not that we solely were, but a lot of small venues put their trust into you and gave you a platform when you were still growing. And it's time for some of these bigger artists to give back to those stages and platforms that help them build their career. And sadly, you don't see enough of that because people are, blinded by the paycheck, blinded by the money.
Fuck, dude. I mean, I get it. Like, but also there's times where, like, say, someone like myself, it's like, I want to come play up here during this, while you're having these capacity shows. But it's like, I get to play in New Orleans once, maybe twice a year. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so like maybe right now, I'm not defending people like myself. I mean, everything you just said is a fucking good point.
Yeah.
You get to play somewhere once a year, though. Like, do you want that one time of the year that you play there to be like a 250 cap?
Well, I think that in a normal world situation, that we wouldn't expect anything other than what would be the normal ebb and flow of the music industry. And we wouldn't expect like someone like you that only plans 1 or 2 shows in this market a year to be in this market. But I think that since like this year is something that no one's ever experienced before, that there is, there's exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
And there's chances, if anything, to be able to play. Not only is our venue considered intimate on a grand scale, but now these super intimate shows, because people are going to remember these shows. People are going to remember, like, fuck, whenever like we were in quarantine for 3 months, and then once, like, things finally started opening back up again, we got to see so and so, and there was only 250 people there, but that was like,
sounds like a sick time, though.
Yeah, no, and I promise you, the artists that are going to be going on this stage, putting on these shows, the ones that are that are proving that it's for the music and the fans and not necessarily the paycheck, are going to play some of the best sets of their career, because they're going to be so filled with inspiration for, like, from seeing the people, despite all the scary shit in the world, out there to support them. They're going to play some of the best sets of their lives, and people are going to remember those sets. And so I think that right now is going to be a very, very, like, powerful time for music, albeit it's going to be, at a limited capacity for a select amount of people. I think that the actual music that's going to come out from all of this and the actual performances are going to be incredibly good and incredibly powerful, and like set a new precedent for how we experience music.
Yeah, everyone's just going to be happy to be there again, especially artists. Everybody's jaded at a certain point, but everyone's got a break now.
It's all beautifully said, man. I mean, you fucking changed my whole perspective about it, too. I want to come play up here now.
TVBOO, if you're watching this.
Well, that's cool, man. I think we got a fan question I want to get to, and then we'll get out of here. I know we went over an hour, but...
Yo, what's up, TVBOO? This is Divine Martin from Homa. Might know me as Divine Hippie. I don't know. We've ever officially met before. But anyway,
I know
I
Divine. He's
have
a
a
cool guy.
question for both Chris and for Bradley. The question for Chris is, as an up-and-coming artist, what necessarily would be the criteria, I guess you could say, in order to start really getting booked for venues like Republic? Like, what are you necessarily looking for as far as to try to get booked in those types of situations? Question for Bradley would be, who would you say has been your favorite person to shoot for thus far since you've really got into the photography world? Yeah. But y'all, hope y'all having a good day. Love y'all. Peace.
Good question, man.
Why don't you go first?
I'll go first. Yeah. So Divine, what's up, brother? I know Divine. He's a very, very good, hardworking guy from my neck of the woods, good old Houma, Louisiana. Grew up a little bit south of there. I talked to this a little bit earlier in the podcast, but the best thing you could do as an up and coming artist trying to get booked is just be realistic with yourself about where you're currently at, and understand that it's not about how much music you put out, but about the quality of music that you put out. A lot of electronic artists specifically, and I know this isn't necessarily the genre that you're a part of, will just fucking start cranking out track after track after track after track, and it doesn't, like, they don't like pay attention to how good it actually is or isn't. And because of that, they'll be like, oh, well, I'll put out 30 songs on SoundCloud. And like, guess what? If you don't have any good songs, it doesn't matter if you put 30. So I think it's about focusing on your production skills and getting not necessarily a million tracks out there, but like a few really solid tracks to gain the traction to then be able to present it to promoters to say, look, I've gained this level of support on like X social media. And I think that I'm like, you don't ever want to come at it overconfident and say like, I'm the next big thing, I'm popping off. You want to come at it from a place saying like, I've been working hard and I think that I'm ready to perform at a show. I noticed you had this show and I would love the opportunity. It's always about, showing, I guess, a level of appreciation for even the potential opportunity to be a part of something when you're just getting started out. And so don't go in with any expectations either, because like the reality is that a lot of promoters won't give small artists the light of day, sadly. We try and do, I know we're not perfect and we try our best to do a good job of it. Sometimes some things slip through the cracks. Another thing too is, when those people don't respond or they say no, don't beat yourself up over it. There's probably something else that's like holding them back. A lot of tours bring their own support, and so we're limited in what we have to do, or we have to send the management and artists, agents support to be approved. So when you do get those rejections and you do get those like not yet or not now, not this show, don't hang your head over it. Just keep focusing on your art and keeping your eyes open for the next potential opportunity, because we live in a world now where it might only take one opportunity for things to change your entire world.
Yeah, that's true. Very good point. My turn.
And so he said shoot 4. So
Shoot
like,
for, yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing that I was
who's
gonna
hired you as a hitman?
No, that's it. That's what I was gonna also explain, that whenever I do these things, it's not for always an individual artist, which a lot of people get that misunderstood. And that's why I like to talk about other people like you and Taryn and everybody else that does a whole lot of things for me, because without these other people around the scene, I wouldn't be able to do any of these things. Like, I mean, I remember Taryn knows me well, so she knew when Kid Cudi was coming through that, like, before that was even announced, she was like just kind of telling me, she's like, you're gonna love this show. Like, I can't wait, for you to hear about this, and just stuff like that. But favorite shows to shoot, like I've said it before, I said it earlier, Kid Cudi. Just because that's where my heart's at. Like, I do this because I want to do things that, make me happy, that I'll remember and, get to say like, man, I did that. Like, just personally, it's personal goals. But other than that, I would probably say there's a good bit, but the RL Grime set at the Freewater block party, that was really fun. That was fun.
It's a dope
Shout
set.
out Freewater.
Well, sick, man. I appreciate y'all coming on my podcast, dude. I just want to say, Brad, I appreciate everything you've done for me, dude. I know whenever you're behind me, I can trust you. You always grab my ass at some point in my set, so I always appreciate that shit, dude. Chris, fuck you. No, I'm joking. No, you've done a lot for me, man. You fucking always been a cool guy and, close friend at this point, so I fucking appreciate you, dog.
Damn, I'm not a close friend.
Dude, we just went to the beach together. You stay at my house every time you town. You know this.
With you.
And I, through my friendships that I've created with you guys, and everyone else in our like little circle, it's really shown me the real value of what I do, for me personally, which is to be able to throw dope events, but even more importantly, be able to meet incredible people.
Yep.
Like, if I wouldn't have scanned tickets here in 2013, I'd have never met you guys. Who knows what the fucking world would be like? But you know what? I'm fucking happy I did it.
Yeah.
Because we're all here now. And like, if I was able to help you guys progress your careers in any way because of that decision I made all those years ago, I don't regret a thing.
There's no ifs. That's why I always tell you that when you're feeling down on shit. Because that's a big part of my life is that, and it all started there. So I appreciate you.
This shit's way too touchy-feely. I thought this was gonna be a funny podcast.
It was fun.
I thought it was supposed to be funny though. I thought we were like,
hey, we love the homies around here.
Funny, like I'm about to cry.
We love the homies around here.
Like I'm tearing up a little bit, and like there's nothing funny about this. Nothing. Like people aren't supposed to know that I have emotions.
No, you gotta go take
Me
a nap
strong
after this.
man. Me no cry.
Me man have no emotion.
I need another light beer, man.
Sugar free.
Oh god damn. Anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Well, wait. You guys. So, Mitch, what do you have going on? Do you have any music coming out? You have any?
Dude, listen. Fuck, man. I got a song coming out like in a week or two. I think. I don't know my schedule right on. I don't know my schedule right on the top of my throne.
Well, stream his.
What's going on for Republic, dude? What y'all got going on?
This Friday we have the Bass Temple with Borkrok, Gopnik, and Nada, who was more formerly known as
Shout out Jew.
And then on Saturday we're doing.
He needed to change his name. There's a Juju Beats. So yeah.
On Saturday we're doing emo night, the Temple of Tears, and we will have me and Andre Clutch DJing up there. Maybe a special guest appearance by yours truly, TVBOO.
TVBOO.
For next weekend, we don't know yet, and for the weekend after that, we definitely don't know yet. But keep your eyes peeled. We're posting shit weekly. All social medias at Republic NOLA, and just keep your eyes open. If you're local and you want to come out to shows, holler. And right now we're currently seeking talent, so like a lot of these shows, fucking send me some music. Chris at republicnola.com, DM me on Twitter, DM me on Instagram. Just if you can get a link to me some way, somehow, I assure you I will give your music a listen.
Cool. Brad, what you got coming up, daddy?
Chilling, working, waiting on shows to come back so I can shoot them.
Rock and roll, man. Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate everybody listening to this week's episode of Talks with Taboo. I will see y'all next week. Peace.